Hello, my fellow Snarkatarians. What's up? It's Jess. How are you? Thanks for spending some time with me today. I wanted to continue with this affordable makeup line, and today I'm going to be talking about Juvia's Place. I'm going to be doing a first impression review and full day wear test on the new I Am Magic foundation from Juvia's Place. They've had eyeshadow palettes and things like that, but a few weeks ago they launched this foundation. It has quite an extensive shade range. It's 42 colors at Ulta. I thought it was 45, but maybe they just carry 42 at Ulta. The shade range is very inclusive, which is great. It retails for $20, which is, maybe on the upper end of affordable, but I still consider it an affordable brand. Now, if you're new to this channel, you may not know that I am more combo to dry. This is actually more of a matte foundation, a matte finish, and I'm a little leery about trying it. This is not really what the foundation that's in my wheelhouse. I usually like dewier, more moisturizing things, but it says it's a magic foundation. It offers a smooth application with a natural, soft, and matte finish to give flawless coverage. A great formula to even out the complexion, refine skin texture, erase blemishes, maintaining the initial finish throughout the day, suitable for all skin types, including sensitive and oily skin. Oily, I understand. If it is more of a matte or satin finish, those kind of things seem to work really well, or at least better for oilier skin than it does for dry skin. So I exfoliated, I am moisturized, I am primed, and I'm going to get this on my face too. I also got and will be applying one of the makeup palettes. This is the Nubian, I guess the original Nubian. This is kind of neutral, but it kind of leans very warm, and it's quite pretty. This is definitely in my wheelhouse. I also picked up one of the highlighters. Oops, this is the lighter of the two, the pressed highlighters. They do have some loose powder highlighters as well. And I just jammed that corner into the highlighter. Fantastic. Now, the one thing I am a little worried about as well, I'm worried. That's great. We're going to start off being worried. This is the first palette I've ever picked up that had one of those warnings. Some of these colors are not intended for use around the immediate eye area. And the thing with this is shades are numbered. They don't really have names to them, so it tells you which shades they are. I'm not sure if the shades go across or like up and down. I would assume they go, left to right, up, from the higher rows to the lower rows. So we'll see. I tend to have sensitive eyelids. I did just get rid of one of my palettes because I had such allergic reactions to it. Really made my eyelids swell, and so I'm a little nervous about that. So we'll see how that goes throughout the day as well. It's been a hot minute since I actually filmed on a weekend morning. Like I said, this is more of an affordable brand. I am the color, I believe, Cebu, Cebu. It's number 610. Now you do get, like I said, it's $20. It is 1 fluid ounce. And from what I've heard so far, a little goes a very long way. We're gonna do one side of my face with a brush and the other side with a makeup sponge, a dampened sponge. And we're gonna get into it right now. Put a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm gonna dot it on like I normally do. Doesn't seem to be much of a smell. I say beauty blender on this side, or dampened sponge. Okay. This is supposed to be a light neutral color. It's not bad. It's maybe half a shade dark, and it is pulling a little yellow, not too bad. Seems to be applying pretty easily with a sponge, so that's good. I'm hoping it doesn't stay super matte. I hope it kind of leans toward more of a satin finish. I don't mind that as much. Again, one of my telling areas is my chin. If a foundation tends to be too dry or kind of acts up and doesn't mesh well with my face, it's going to be right here in my chin and between my eyebrows. So right now it doesn't really look too dry. It does cover, I have a leftover kind of blemish mark here. That's covered up pretty nicely. It's looks more of a bump than a discoloration. So we'll go in with the brush side here. And since it is the summer months, I don't mind trying this kind of foundation this time of year because I do tend to get a little more towards the oily side with the combo than dry. So if my oils come out on more of a matte foundation or satin finish foundation, then that's okay with me. It's definitely pretty matte. I mean, there's no doubt there, no question there. And I would say it's, you know, high, medium coverage. I'm not really liking the way it looks with the brush here. I feel like it looks cakey right here with the brush. I don't feel like it does that as much on the sponge side. I feel like it's caking right in here too. Coverage is good, color is pretty good. I don't know if it oxidizes or not. I guess we will. It might oxidize a little bit. I feel like it's oxidizing a little bit on my hand. It's a little darker than what I think I started out with. So it may get darker throughout the day. I really don't like the brush side already. I can tell you that right now. It looks really cakey. It's really settling into my lines here. And this is a place where that never happens. Never. It actually doesn't look too bad on my chin. Go figure. But I'm gonna go in with the blender, the sponge, and kind of press it in a little bit more, see if I can get rid of some of that cakiness. Yeah, it's really looking cakey on me right now. I don't know that you can tell. I will show you in natural light and show you, but just with this light, it's really settling into fine lines, or, you know, not even fine lines, but it doesn't really do much to smooth out any fine lines. Not that it made any claims that it would do that, but I feel like this is actually aging me a little bit. So that's not good. It's crazy. I've never seen that happen before on a foundation. I'm going to put a little bit more of my makeup on. I'm going to leave off the eyeshadow and highlighter. I'll do that back down here and see how this kind of settles in, if it settles in even more, if it oxidizes even more as I'm putting my makeup on. Feeling a little skeptical right now. I've never kind of had a foundation sink in and crease and cake up as much as soon as I apply it as this one. So we'll see. Let's see if we can do some magic here. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back. I have the majority of my makeup on, except for obviously my eyeshadow and highlighter. I do have a little bronzer and contour on that's a little less bold than last week's video. I don't know if you caught that or not. I'll link it above. It was actually kind of fun to do, and I will do more of those. I do apologize to BH Cosmetics. It was just a bad day for me. I love the products. I generally don't get that kind of outcome, but you know, I was a little heavy-handed, and you know, maybe the tequila was partially to blame for it, but it was fun anyway. And I really did like the eye look that I came up with, but the rest of the face was just a little much. So I put this on, I put the foundation on probably about 15 minutes ago. It's 9:40 now, so it's about 9:25. It has been, man, it has oxidized just a tiny little bit. I did notice it's really kind of caking into this, whatever this is. I've never seen this before, this line, until today. Thanks, I appreciate that. It's also kind of been caking in my forehead lines, and I feel like right now it's just kind of laying on my skin. It is really emphasizing my texture, which I'm not thrilled about. And like I said, I kind of know with more matte products that tends to be the way things go, as opposed to dewier, more moisturizing, glowier foundations. I'm just not really thrilled about this at the moment. That being said, we are going to kind of an outside event today, and it's nice out. It's breezy, but it's about 80 degrees, so we'll see if I get warm and kind of sweaty. And we'll see how it holds up. From a distance, I think it looks fine. Close up, not even that close up, but kind of close up, I'm not feeling this foundation right now. Things could change. You know, weirder things have happened. Also, I do want to say, last night Matt and I finished Game of Thrones, very last episode. And I'm kind of glad that we watched it when we did, when it was way over, and I kind of heard some things about the last episode that really they were trying to cram a lot of stuff into the last 2 episodes, and it just seemed like it went really fast and kind of didn't really clear things up, but it was just like, man, this is what we're going to do. I was actually okay with it. I think, you know, I kind of had a lower standard of it, so I was kind of surprised how much I enjoyed it, and I liked it. The acting is just fantastic. Peter Dinklage, oh my gosh, man, he is the man. I'm sorry, love him to death. He was just fantastic, and there's so many characters in that show that you just really liked, even the ones that were kind of, you know, iffy, like Jaime Lannister. You liked him. I liked him, even though he was kind of a cad, but he wasn't always a cad, and even at the end, he wasn't really a cad. He wasn't a cad, see? He was actually a pretty decent guy. Who says cad anymore? I don't know, I do, apparently. But I think in the end, everybody is where they should be. I was kind of surprised about who they chose to be the king of the 6 realms. Hope I'm not giving too much away. Spoiler alert. I won't say who it is. You probably already know. But one of the things that I like, if you remember the movie Gladiator, which is one of my absolute favorite movies, the Caesar asks Russell Crowe, Maximus, to be the next Caesar when he dies, because he doesn't think his heir is going to be very good. And all Maximus wants to do is get home and be with his family, and he says, with everything I have, no. And the Caesar looks at him and says, well, that's why it must be you. And I feel like that's very true in this case as well. It's the people that are very moral and have good ideas and show mercy. They can be very empathetic and see things on both sides of the coin, and but don't want the power. And then the ones that are power hungry, they're the ones that end up getting it, and then it just, you know, blows up. That's my political statement for the day. I'm not getting any more in depth than that. We're going to move on to the makeup. So we're going to work on the Nubia palette by Juvia's Place. And I will throw some swatches in here now. I'll go row by row and show you what they look like on my arm. Okay, this is a closer look at the palette. And this is a swatch of the top row. This is the 3rd row. These are more of the pressed pigments, I believe, and glitters, so they definitely are creamier, and they definitely have much more pigment to them than the top row. And then this is the 3rd row. And that 3rd color, that first brown color, that I think is going to be on my arm all day. There isn't too much in the way of a light crease color, but I'm going to go in with this one here, right here, which is probably the lightest of all of them. That's more of a matte shade. And I'm going to put this in the crease. I'm going to go with the light hand here. Like I said, I'm going to err on the side of caution as far as the sensitivity of my eyes, my eyelid skin. Okay, now just to deepen up that crease, I'm going to go in with this color here with a smaller tapered brush. I could be crazy. That wouldn't be the first, but I almost feel like there is a little of the faintest sheen, like gold shimmer in that first color that I used. I said I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm catching some light that I was not expecting. And I'm feeling like I have to work at these just a little bit to build them up. But I would prefer that than the other way around, honestly. Like, I don't feel like there's a lot of pigment transferring onto my eyelid. And I think I'm gonna get a little bit of this gold shade on the lid. I'm gonna use my finger for that. That's pretty. That packs quite a punch. You don't need much for that. I think I'm gonna go in with this darker color here on the bottom and kind of add that to the outer corner. There's a bit of kick up with this color in the pan. I think they are blending nicely. I'm going to go in, there's a shimmery brown here. I think I'm going to press that on the outer corner as well. Middle to outer corner. Transition from that gold to like this coppery color. Quite honestly, this is a wheelhouse palette for me. I mean, it's warm neutrals. All right. I'm going to mix between this shade, and this shade here, and just run that along my lower lash line. Okay, I'm going to brighten up the inner corner just a little bit. I'm going to use a brush for this, just to kind of press it on the inner corner here. Oh, I didn't show you which one I'm using. I'll be using this color here. Super pretty, champagne-y, feels really creamy. And I think I'm going to take that gold that I used originally on the, all over the lid, and I'm going to pop that a little bit on the low lash line, kind of in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this color here in on my upper lash line, just to line the eyes. I feel like a lot of these colors are very reminiscent of the Urban Decay, what was that, the Fire palette? Heat palette? That's what it was. All right, I'm going to throw on some mascara, and then we'll get to the highlight. Okay, eyes are over. I already have, eyes are over. Eyes are done. I'm pretty happy with this. Like I said, they are nicely pigmented. I feel like the lighter matte colors I had to build up slowly. They weren't, I guess, as buildable as quickly as I thought they were going to be, but I'm okay with that. I would rather have to, build up slowly than have way too much on it, try and taper it down a little bit, which is impossible. But they blend really nicely. The shimmers are nice and creamy, and there was some kick up in the pan, but there really wasn't any fallout, on my face or anything like that. So that's good. So I do have a little bit of blush on. I have my contour, some bronzer on. We're going to go in with the Tribe highlighters. This is volume 3, again by Juvia's Place. And it's a nice champagne-y color. Oh, it's bright. Ooh, champagne. Yeah, that's light, no, which is good because I'm light. So we're going to go and put a little bit of this on, see how it works. I'm not one that likes like the super wet, shiny highlighters. I like a nice little glow, and I hope maybe that'll help out the foundation a little bit. It's nice. It's pretty subtle, which is fine. Actually, I think I'm going to put a little bit on my my brow bone here. That's pretty. I'm okay with that. I'm going to grab some lipstick and be right back. Okay, I just threw a quick gloss on. This is the Ulta Jelly Gloss Lip Gel. It has like a nice little kind of a champagne-y, silvery shimmer to it. But it's nice. It's just like a regular lip gloss kind of jelly thing. Brilliant. So this is the finished look using the Juvia's palette, Juvia's Place I Am Magic Foundation, and the Nubian palette, and the Tribe highlighter number 3. I will wear this throughout the day. Like I said, we're going to be outside listening to a band, and we'll see how it works. Right now, I'm not liking the foundation, but you know, if I start to get a little damp, it might help with that situation. I feel like there's a lot of texture that's showing. There's a lot of creasing that I've never seen before. There's a lot of caking. My forehead lines are really kind of in your face. They're definitely in my face, but now they're in your face, and I can't get away from those. I do like the eyeshadow palette, and I'm hoping I do not get a reaction from any of these colors. I think I used one of the pressed pigments, or the ones that kind of have the warning about not using them on your eyes. Why in the world would you create something for your eyes that you can't wear on your eyes? I don't understand that so much, but I'll check in, you know, probably after our event and then before I go to bed at night, and let you know how everything more. Okay, so this is what this looks like in natural light. I feel like it looks pretty textured. My forehead is really cakey and creased. And I don't know if you can see, there's, nope, I think it's on this side. I feel like it's caking in here quite a bit, which is, like I said, pretty new. Right in here. It's so weird. I don't like it, but I will be back after our little event and see if there's been any changes. All right, make sure I get the microphone on. I'm doing a check-in. It's somewhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. So I've been wearing this foundation for about 9 hours almost. I did not powder because I knew it was a matte formula, so I didn't want to make it any drier looking than it already was. I did spray with a very dewy setting spray, the L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow. So that did add a little bit of luminosity to this. There is, it does not look as matte as it did when I initially put it on. It does still look pretty cakey. Here and here, I feel like it looks cakey. My forehead doesn't look as bad as it did originally. I think it just kind of melted into the skin because of the heat. I was outside pretty much all afternoon, and the setting spray probably helped with that as well. So I'm gonna let this go a few more hours before I go to bed and give you my final thoughts in a few hours. I will see you then. Okay guys, so I'm just checking in at the end of the day. It's a little after 10 o'clock, so this foundation has been on for over 12 hours now, and it feels like it and looks like it. I'm ready to wash this off. I feel like it never really conformed to my skin. It always felt like it was just kind of laying on top of it. It is really cakey here. It's cakey on my chin. It feels really dry here right now, actually. I think once it warmed up a little bit, the creasing on my forehead kind of went away a little bit. Kind of melted a little bit to the skin, conformed to the skin, but it almost felt or looked like it was had a waxy consistency to it. It was like really thick and kind of mask-like. So kind of what I thought. The foundation is a no-go for me. I did not like the way it initially applied on me. It just emphasized all my texture. It found creases that I didn't even know existed, so yay. The eyeshadow is hard to tell with my glasses on, but the eyeshadow kind of stayed on. I don't really have any complaints about that. I don't feel like I had any sensitivity to the eyeshadow like I thought maybe I would have, but that was not, that did not happen, so I'm glad about that. The highlighter didn't stay on very long. I didn't put that much on anyway, but I thought it was pretty once it was on. So that's about it. Foundation, no. Eyeshadow palette and highlighter worked just fine. I'm sure I'll use that again. So that's it for this. I hope this was informational for you. I have a couple more makeup reviews coming up soon. If you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. Much appreciated. Follow me on Instagram at the Pesky Snarkatarian. And subscribe. We have a lot of fun. I'm feeling healthy today. I got my avocado toast t-shirt on, got my coffee, and gonna be having a good time this afternoon. I try to upload once a week, usually on the weekends. Guys, do your best to always stay as snarky as possible because that's the most fun. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.